New York City, early afternoon. Wind blew through the tight avenues between towers of glass and stone. Manhattan was buzzing, as always, with its hypnotic rhythm, taxi horns, footsteps, conversations, the occasional hum of subway grates breathing steam into the cold February air. Right near Trump Tower, across from Central Park, life moved fast. Too fast for those who had lost their grip. And one man had. He sat on a wooden bench that faced Fifth Avenue. His coat was too thin, his shoes scuffed and damp, his eyes empty, like someone had unplugged the soul and left only the weight behind. People walked past, hundreds. They saw him, but didn't see him. His name was Daniel Grayson. Not long ago, he had worn tailored suits, spoke on panels, led a startup with hundreds of employees. He was a name in the tech world, a rising star, a visionary. Now, he was barely holding on. His fingers trembled as he sipped cheap coffee. He hadn't eaten in 2 days. The hotel had kicked him out the night before. His family, wife and 2 kids, were staying with distant cousins for a few nights. But that window was closing. He had 1 day left before they'd all be out on the street. And the worst part? He trusted the wrong man. His own business partner, someone he called a brother, had restructured the company in silence, used a forged signature, moved everything under a new LLC, took the assets, froze Daniel out. The courts were slow. The lawyers were hesitant. Justice, as usual, crawled. Daniel had gone from founder to forgotten. He buried his face in his hands. Not from shame, he was too tired for that, just to keep the cold from biting deeper into his skin. Across the street, a group of black-suited security guards stepped into formation. 2 SUVs idled at the curb, and between them, calmly walking, hoodie pulled over his head, hands in his pockets, was Elon Musk. Yes, that Elon. He had just finished a closed-door meeting nearby. No press, no fanfare, just a quiet visit to New York. But Elon liked to walk, especially when things felt heavy in his mind. And today, his mind was on fire. He was juggling launch schedules, investor drama, regulatory fights, and the next generation of AI chips. But something shifted as he looked ahead. One man, one bench, no motion, no light. Elon slowed. He looked once, then again. Who's that? He asked his lead guard. Just some guy, Mr. Musk. But Elon didn't move on. He squinted, then crossed the street. Sir, the guard said, we don't recommend... It's okay, Elon interrupted. I just want to say hello. Daniel didn't look up at first. He thought it was another panhandler or well-meaning stranger. But then he heard the voice. Hey, you all right? Daniel blinked, looked up, and saw him. Elon Musk? He asked, confused. Yeah, just Elon's fine, the man smiled. He sat down beside him. Just like that, no hesitation. A billionaire, sitting on a bench with a man on the edge. You seem like you've had a rough day, Elon said gently. Daniel laughed bitterly. A rough day? More like a rough life, compressed into 24 hours. Elon didn't interrupt, didn't offer cliches. He listened. Daniel told him everything. The company, the betrayal, the wife, the kids, the fear. He didn't know why he was talking. Maybe because it was Elon. Maybe because someone finally asked. And when he finished, his voice cracked. I don't even need a handout. I just needed the world to slow down for 5 minutes so I could breathe. Elon looked him in the eyes. His voice calm, focused. You were a builder once, he said. You still are. Daniel scoffed. Not anymore. But Elon shook his head. No. You don't stop being a builder because someone stole your tools. You just need new ones. Then he reached into his coat, pulled out a checkbook. Yes, Elon Musk still carried one. With smooth strokes, he wrote a number. 1,000. To Daniel Grayson. Signed, torn, folded once. He handed it to him quietly. Daniel stared. What is this? It's a reset, Elon said. Don't waste it. Get your family back on their feet. Find a lawyer. Build again. This world has enough cowards. We need people who got hurt and still showed up. Daniel's eyes welled. He covered his mouth. He tried to speak, but no words came. I didn't think anyone would believe in me again, he whispered. I don't believe in you, Elon said, standing. I believe in what you'll become. And with that, he walked away. Daniel sat frozen. The $1 million check trembled in his hands. The paper felt heavier than anything he had ever held. Not because of the ink, but because of the hope it represented. He looked up. Elon was already back across the street. His guards in motion, the world moving again. But for Daniel, time had stopped. He looked down again. His name, the signature, the number. He wasn't dreaming. His hand shook as he pulled out his cracked phone. 1 bar of battery, just enough. He tapped a number that was still in his favorites. It rang, once, twice. Then, Daniel? It was her. Emma, his wife. Worried, exhausted, still holding on. But barely. Emma, he said. His voice cracked. Something happened. What is it? Are you okay? He looked at the check again, tears forming. I think we're going to be okay. There was silence on the line. Then the soft sound of her breath shaking. Dan, don't do this to me. I'm serious. He laughed through the tears. You're not going to believe this. Elon Musk just gave me a check for $1 million. More silence. He could almost hear her eyes blinking on the other side. Daniel, are you cold? Are you okay? Where are you? I'm serious. It's real. I'm holding it. And he told me to rebuild. He told me to get you back. He told me I'm still a builder. He finally broke. He wept. Not from sadness, but from a dam finally bursting. And Emma? She cried too. But not from fear this time. From hope. Daniel didn't go to a bank. He went to a payphone down the street. Called a private accountant he knew from before, someone he trusted. Then went to a hotel, a real one. One with warm rooms, clean sheets, and space for 4. He used his ID, paid with the check's transfer receipt, got a suite on the 19th floor with a view of the park. Then he took a cab to his wife's cousin's apartment. Told them everything, showed them everything. They were skeptical, until the wire confirmation came through. $1,000 verified, received, and real. Emma cried in his arms for 15 minutes. The kids, they just kept hugging him. No more sofa sleeping. No more one day at a time survival. They packed, moved, and within 3 hours, the Grayson family had their own warm, safe room for the night. That night, Daniel didn't sleep. He stared out the window, past Central Park, where he had sat like a ghost that morning. And then he opened his laptop, the only thing he'd kept after the collapse. He pulled up old plans, sketches, notes, letters from investors he once knew. Ideas worth more than gold. He wrote one thing at the top of a blank screen. I will build again, but this time on truth. It had been less than 36 hours since that moment on the bench. Daniel hadn't slept more than 2 hours, but he didn't feel tired. He felt alive. There was electricity running through him, the kind he used to feel when his startup first launched, when he used to dream with fire in his belly and maps of innovation in his head. But now everything was different. He wasn't just building a product. He was rebuilding a life. Inside a co-working space in Brooklyn, Daniel booked a glass conference room with his own credit card. He stood in front of a whiteboard, wrote the name of his new company, Ember. Because sometimes, he whispered to himself, you don't need to start from scratch. You just need to breathe on the coals. He invited 3 people. Mia, his old head of operations. Kelvin, his former tech lead. Priya, a marketing genius who once turned his idea into a movement. They walked in, curious, guarded. They all had heard what happened to him. They didn't expect to ever hear from him again. But there he stood. Clean, strong, smiling, different. And when he told them the story, Elon, the bench, the check, they didn't believe it. Until he pulled out the proof. And then, their faces changed. Not because of the money, because of the spark. He's back, Priya whispered. The real Daniel. Later that evening, Daniel got a call. Unknown number, he answered. Voice on the other side, smooth, arrogant, familiar. Dan, we need to talk. It was him, Alex Bennett, his former co-founder, his Judas. Daniel didn't say anything. Alex continued. I heard you're trying to build something. I think we both know that's not smart. Daniel said nothing. I still have the patents, Dan. The lawyers are slow, but you know the game. Maybe you got lucky, but it won't last. Then came the final sentence. Just walk away. Again, this time without a public embarrassment. Daniel smiled. A small, quiet, dangerous smile. Alex, he said. I didn't get lucky. I got Elon, and hung up. 2 months later, it wasn't a stadium. It wasn't Silicon Valley. It was a mid-sized, rented-out black box theater in Soho. Seats 200. Guests handpicked. Investors, founders, journalists, a few skeptics. And one empty chair marked reserved. The stage was bare. One spotlight, one microphone. And when Daniel Grayson stepped out, no slides, no flash, just him, the room fell into silence. He didn't talk like a salesman. He didn't speak like a wounded man either. He spoke like a builder reborn. I lost everything, not because I failed, but because I trusted wrong. And when I had nothing left, the world gave me a moment of grace. He held up the original check. Framed. The crowd gasped. Cameras clicked. Elon Musk didn't save me because I was special. He didn't give me money because he felt sorry for me. He gave me something more valuable. A second chance, and a message. Don't waste it. He paused. So I didn't. I built Ember, a platform that gives founders in crisis access to legal rescue, rapid audit defense, and verified capital angels in under 48 hours. No more silent betrayals. No more sleeping on benches. He stepped forward. We don't need more unicorns. We need phoenixes. Startups that rise from ashes with fire in their blood. The room exploded. Applause. Tears. People stood. Backstage, Daniel stood with his team, the same 3 people who believed in him from the start. They were crying, laughing, stunned. Investors were already lining up. His phone buzzed. Unknown number, he answered. Voice on the other end. Nice speech. Daniel smiled. Elon? Still just Elon. Daniel swallowed. Thank you, he said. For what? Elon replied. For everything. Elon paused. You did the work, Daniel. I just reminded you that you still had it in you. And then, almost as if smiling through the line, told you. You're still a builder. Ember raised $30 million in funding, rescued over 200 founders from collapse, helped 3,000 families avoid financial ruin. Daniel never forgot the bench. He had it replicated and placed in Ember's HQ lobby, with a small plaque. Some people sit and wait, some stand and rebuild, and every year on that day, he donates $1,000 to help someone who's been knocked down, but not destroyed, just like him.